Your soulmate is in tears, begging you to listen to this message. Don't scroll, listen to this, because this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. Before you decide these words aren't meant for you, take one slow breath and stay with this story until the end. Somewhere, someone is carrying emotions they never found the courage to express. Whether you imagine this as a symbolic message, a heartfelt reflection, or simply a story that mirrors the quiet hopes many people carry, let it remind you of something important. Sometimes the words we need most are the ones that have remained unspoken for far too long. There are moments when a person smiles through an ordinary day while hiding an extraordinary amount of emotion beneath the surface. They laugh with friends, complete their responsibilities, and tell everyone they're doing fine, yet when the day ends and the world grows quiet, they are left alone with memories they can no longer outrun. This story begins in one of those moments. Someone who once believed they could keep moving forward without looking back has finally reached the point where their heart refuses to stay silent. Listen carefully, this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. The person at the center of this story isn't crying because they are weak. They are crying because they have spent so long pretending to be strong that they forgot what honesty felt like. Every emotion they pushed away eventually found its way back. Every memory they tried to forget returned when they least expected it. They discovered something that many people experience but rarely admit out loud: the heart has remarkable patience, but it also has remarkable persistence. It continues speaking even after the mind has grown tired of listening. They tried convincing themselves that enough time had passed, that life had moved on, that everything would eventually become easier. Instead, they found themselves thinking about one person more often than ever before. They remembered ordinary conversations that suddenly felt extraordinary. They remembered small acts of kindness that meant more than expensive gifts ever could. They remembered feeling understood in ways they had never fully appreciated until much later. Don't scroll, listen to this, because this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. Have you ever noticed how certain people remain part of your story even when they are no longer part of your daily routine? It isn't always because everything was perfect. Sometimes it is because they helped you become a better version of yourself. Sometimes they challenged you to grow. Sometimes they saw something beautiful in you before you could see it yourself. That is what happened here. Looking back, this person realized that the connection they once took for granted quietly changed the direction of their life. They became more compassionate because of it. They became more thoughtful because of it. They began asking deeper questions about who they wanted to become and what truly mattered. Yet with every realization came another feeling they struggled to face: regret. Not because the past could be changed, but because they wished they had appreciated those moments while they were happening. Listen carefully, this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. Regret has a quiet voice. It doesn't usually arrive with dramatic speeches. It appears during simple moments. It shows up while driving home after work. It appears while making morning coffee. It arrives when an old song begins playing unexpectedly or when a familiar place brings back memories that seemed forgotten. This person has experienced those moments again and again. Every reminder gently asks the same question: what if honesty had come sooner? What if fear had not been allowed to make every important decision? Those questions cannot rewrite yesterday, but they can shape tomorrow. And for the first time in a long time, they are choosing to let those questions lead them toward courage instead of silence. Don't scroll, listen to this, because this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. While this journey has been unfolding for them, something has also been changing within you. Whether you realize it or not, you have become stronger through every unanswered question you have carried. There were nights when you wished life would simply explain everything. You searched for certainty because uncertainty felt exhausting. But over time, something beautiful happened. You learned that peace doesn't always arrive with perfect answers. Sometimes peace arrives when you stop allowing fear to control your imagination. You began focusing on your own growth. You started finding joy in simple moments again. You discovered that your worth has never depended on another person's ability to recognize it. That quiet confidence has become part of who you are now, even if you don't notice it every day. Listen carefully, this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. Imagine someone sitting by a window while rain falls outside. They aren't searching for distractions anymore. They aren't trying to convince themselves everything is fine. For the first time, they allow themselves to feel everything honestly. They remember the conversations they wish had lasted longer. They remember the laughter that once made difficult days feel lighter. They remember promises that were never spoken but somehow existed in the quiet understanding between two people. Tears begin to fall, not because they are trapped in the past, but because they finally understand the value of what they experienced. Sometimes tears are not signs of defeat. Sometimes they are evidence that a heart has stopped pretending. They are proof that someone is ready to face themselves with honesty. That is where this story begins to change. Don't scroll, listen to this, because this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. As they reflect, they begin noticing small moments that encourage mindfulness. Perhaps they glance at the clock and see 11:11. Maybe they notice 222 or 444 appearing during meaningful days. Many people enjoy treating these repeating numbers as personal reminders to pause, reflect, and stay hopeful. Whether you see them as symbolic or simply as interesting coincidences, they can encourage us to slow down and pay attention to what truly matters. For this person, those moments have become invitations to stop running from their own emotions. Instead of searching for another distraction, they have started searching for greater honesty. Instead of asking how to forget, they have begun asking how to grow. That change has quietly transformed the way they see the future. Listen carefully. This message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. Growth often begins when someone becomes tired of carrying the same emotional weight every single day. The person in this story has reached that point. They no longer want to hide behind excuses. They no longer want to blame timing, distance, or fear for everything that happened. They want to become someone who speaks sincerely, listens carefully, and appreciates meaningful connections while they still have the opportunity. They understand they cannot erase every mistake, but they can choose what kind of person they become from this day forward. That decision has brought both sadness and hope. Sadness for the opportunities they believe they missed. Hope because tomorrow still offers possibilities that yesterday never could. Don't scroll, listen to this, because this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. If this story has reminded you of your own experiences, let it also remind you of something else. Every meaningful relationship teaches us something valuable, whether it lasts a season or a lifetime. Some teach us patience. Some teach us forgiveness. Some teach us courage. Others teach us the importance of expressing appreciation before it becomes a memory. Whatever chapter of life you are in today, allow your heart to remain open to growth rather than closed by disappointment. Continue becoming the kind of person who values honesty over pride, kindness over resentment, and understanding over assumptions. Those qualities have the power to transform every relationship you build in the future. And as this story continues, the person you love reaches for something they have avoided for far too long. Their hands tremble. Their heart races. They know that once they take this next step, nothing will ever feel quite the same again. The words they have kept hidden for so long are finally ready to be spoken, but what those words are, and why they believe they cannot wait another day, is only the beginning of what comes next. Don't scroll, listen to this, because this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. If you've stayed with this story, it's because something inside you understands that the deepest emotions are often the ones people struggle the hardest to express. The person you love has reached a place where pretending has become more exhausting than telling the truth. Every morning they wake up hoping today will be different. They promise themselves they won't think about the past, that they'll focus only on what is in front of them, that they'll stop wondering how life might have been if they had chosen courage instead of fear. But no matter how determined they are, certain memories quietly return. They remember the comfort of your conversations. They remember the way you encouraged them without asking for anything in return. They remember the feeling of being accepted exactly as they were, even during moments when they couldn't accept themselves. Those memories have become impossible to silence because they are no longer simply memories. They have become reminders of the kind of connection they have spent their life searching for ever since. Listen carefully, this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. There are nights when they sit alone after everyone else has gone to sleep. The room is silent except for the sound of their own thoughts. They scroll through old photographs, pause at familiar places, and remember conversations they once believed were ordinary. Now those moments seem priceless. They realize how often they rushed through life without appreciating what was right in front of them. They thought there would always be another opportunity, another conversation, another chance to say the words that stayed trapped inside their heart. Time has taught them something different. It has shown them that some moments become meaningful only after they have passed. Instead of filling them with bitterness, that realization has filled them with determination. They no longer want to leave important things unsaid. They no longer want fear to decide what happens next. Don't scroll. Listen to this, because this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. The tears they have been hiding are not only tears of sadness. They are tears of release. For so long they believed they had to carry every emotion alone. They convinced themselves that asking for understanding would make them appear weak. They believed vulnerability would only create disappointment. But life has slowly changed that belief. They have watched people find healing through honest conversations. They have seen broken friendships restored because someone found the courage to say, "I'm sorry." They have discovered that genuine strength is not pretending to have no emotions. Genuine strength is allowing yourself to speak honestly, even when your voice shakes. That realization has become one of the most important lessons of their life. It has changed the way they see relationships, the way they see themselves, and the way they think about you. Listen carefully. This message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. While they have been learning these lessons, your own life has continued moving forward. There were days when you questioned whether anyone truly understood what your heart had been carrying. There were moments when you wondered if it would be easier to stop caring altogether. Yet somehow, even through disappointment, you continued growing. You discovered new passions. You learned to enjoy your own company. You became someone who could appreciate quiet moments without feeling lonely. That transformation did not happen overnight. It happened one decision at a time. Every time you chose hope instead of resentment, you grew stronger. Every time you chose forgiveness instead of carrying unnecessary anger, you became freer. Those choices have quietly shaped the person you are today. They have prepared you for conversations you never imagined having and opportunities you never expected to receive. Don't scroll, listen to this, because this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. The person you love has begun noticing small details that remind them to slow down. Perhaps they catch themselves looking at the clock at 11:11, or they notice repeating numbers like 222, 444, or 777 throughout the week. Many people enjoy treating these moments as gentle reminders to pause, reflect, and become more mindful of what truly matters. Whether they are meaningful symbols to you or simply interesting coincidences, they can encourage thoughtful reflection. For this person, each reminder has become an invitation to stop running from their emotions and start listening to them instead. Every pause has helped them understand that the heart rarely asks for perfection. More often, it asks for honesty, patience, and the willingness to speak with kindness before another opportunity quietly slips away. Listen carefully. This message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. They have imagined countless versions of the conversation they hope to have someday. In one version they begin with an apology. In another they begin with gratitude. Sometimes they simply imagine saying your name and allowing silence to say everything else. They know no conversation can erase every misunderstanding or rewrite every decision that has already been made. Yet they also understand something beautiful. One sincere conversation can create understanding where confusion once existed. It can replace assumptions with honesty. It can replace regret with peace. Whether the future unfolds exactly as they hope is something no one can predict. What they do know is that they no longer want to hide behind uncertainty. They want to become the kind of person who values authenticity more than comfort. That choice has become their new beginning. Don't scroll. Listen to this, because this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. Imagine standing at the edge of a bridge you've been afraid to cross for years. From a distance it looked impossible. You spent so much time imagining everything that could go wrong that you never noticed how strong the bridge actually was. Then one day you take a single step. The bridge doesn't collapse. The world doesn't end. Instead, you realize the fear of crossing had been far greater than the journey itself. That is what emotional honesty often feels like. The first step is the hardest. Once it is taken, everything begins to change. The person you love has reached that first step. They are no longer standing far away from the bridge. They are gathering the courage to move forward, one honest word at a time. Listen carefully, this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. As you continue your own journey, remember that no experience has been wasted. Every disappointment has taught you resilience. Every unanswered question has encouraged you to trust yourself more deeply. Every meaningful connection has helped you understand the qualities you truly value in the people you allow close to your heart. Those lessons are gifts that remain with you regardless of how any particular chapter ends. They become part of your character. They shape the way you love, the way you forgive, and the way you welcome new possibilities into your life. That growth is something to celebrate because it belongs entirely to you. No one can take it away. Don't scroll, listen to this, because this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. The person you love is closer than ever to sharing what has been hidden beneath years of silence. Their heart is no longer asking whether they should speak. It is asking how they can express everything with honesty, kindness, and respect. They know the future cannot be controlled. They know courage does not guarantee a particular outcome. But they also know that carrying these emotions forever would leave them wondering what might have happened if they had simply been honest. They have decided they no longer want to live with that question. Somewhere inside them, hope has become stronger than fear, and that quiet change is leading them toward a moment they once believed would never come. As this chapter draws to a close, they take one final deep breath, steady their trembling hands, and prepare for the conversation they have imagined 1,000 times. They don't know exactly how it will begin, but they know why it must happen. And when the first words finally leave their heart, they will reveal a truth so personal and unexpected that it has the power to change everything you thought you understood about this story, opening the door to a chapter neither of you could have imagined when this journey first began. Don't scroll, listen to this, because this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. If you've stayed with this story until this moment, then perhaps your heart already understands something your mind is still trying to explain. Life has a way of bringing us back to the people and moments that shaped us, not to keep us trapped in yesterday, but to remind us of the lessons that still have the power to transform tomorrow. The person you love has reached one of the most emotional seasons of their life. They are no longer running from their feelings. They are no longer pretending that time erased everything. Instead, they have begun facing the truth they buried beneath years of busy schedules, responsibilities, and endless distractions. Every morning they wake up believing they have finally found peace, yet by the end of the day they discover that peace has a different name than they expected. It isn't found in forgetting. It isn't found in pretending. It is found in honesty. That realization has become impossible to ignore. Listen carefully, this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. There have been evenings when they sat in complete silence, holding a cup of coffee that had long since grown cold because their thoughts carried them somewhere else entirely. They weren't thinking about success or failure. They weren't worrying about tomorrow's schedule. They were remembering you. They remembered the conversations that made ordinary days unforgettable. They remembered the encouragement you gave so naturally that they didn't fully appreciate it until much later. They remembered how safe it felt to simply be themselves without worrying about being judged. Those memories have become more than memories. They have become mirrors, reflecting the person they want to become. Looking back, they finally understand that genuine connection is one of life's rarest gifts. It cannot be replaced by convenience, distracted by temporary excitement, or forgotten simply because time passes. Some people leave fingerprints on your heart that remain there forever. Don't scroll, listen to this, because this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. The tears they have been hiding have started to tell a different story. At first those tears came from regret. They wished they had spoken more honestly. They wished they had appreciated simple moments while they were happening. They wished they had chosen courage instead of silence. But something has changed. Those same tears are no longer only about the past. They have become evidence of hope. Hope that people can grow. Hope that hearts can heal. Hope that tomorrow does not have to repeat yesterday. They have discovered that maturity is not pretending mistakes never happened. Maturity is allowing those mistakes to become teachers instead of permanent prisons. Every difficult memory has taught them something valuable about kindness, patience, humility, and the importance of expressing gratitude before opportunities quietly disappear. Listen carefully, this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. While this emotional awakening has been taking place inside them, your own life has been changing in ways you may not fully recognize. Think back to the beginning of your journey. You carried so many questions that seemed impossible to answer. You wondered why certain people remained in your heart. You questioned whether waiting for clarity made any sense at all. Yet somewhere along the way, something remarkable happened. You stopped measuring your happiness by someone else's choices. You started investing more time in becoming the person you always wanted to be. You learned to appreciate peaceful mornings, meaningful friendships, and quiet victories that once would have gone unnoticed. You became stronger without becoming cold. You became wiser without losing your ability to care deeply. Those changes matter because they prove that even painful seasons can produce beautiful growth. Don't scroll, listen to this, because this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. There are moments when life seems to whisper instead of shout. Perhaps you notice the clock showing 11:11 just as you're lost in thought. Maybe you see 222, 333, or 777 throughout your week and choose to let those moments remind you to slow down and reflect. Many people enjoy treating these patterns as gentle prompts to be present and hopeful. Whether you see them as meaningful symbols or simply interesting coincidences, they can become invitations to pause and ask yourself an important question: am I living honestly with my own heart? That is the question the person you love has been asking over and over again. Every time they stop to reflect, the answer becomes clearer. They have spent enough time hiding. They have spent enough time allowing fear to speak louder than sincerity. They no longer want to carry emotions that were meant to be shared with compassion and respect. Listen carefully, this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. Imagine standing outside a house you once called home. From the outside, everything looks familiar. The windows, the front steps, the old tree in the yard, it all seems unchanged. But when you step inside, you realize you are not the same person who once lived there. The house didn't change. You did. That is exactly what has happened within this story. The memories remain the same, but the people remembering them have grown. The fears that once controlled every decision no longer carry the same authority. The walls built around the heart have begun to crack, allowing honesty to shine through. Growth has quietly rewritten the ending they once expected. Instead of asking how to avoid difficult emotions, they are asking how to honor them with maturity. Instead of wondering whether vulnerability is dangerous, they are beginning to see it as the foundation of every authentic relationship. Don't scroll, listen to this, because this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. There is one memory they return to more than any other. It isn't a dramatic moment. It isn't the kind of scene that would stand out to anyone else. It was something simple. A conversation that ended with genuine laughter. A moment when everything felt effortless. At the time, they thought there would be countless opportunities just like it. They never imagined that years later, they would still remember the feeling of being completely understood. That memory has become a quiet reminder that life's greatest treasures are rarely the loudest ones. They are found in ordinary moments shared with extraordinary people. That realization has made them value sincerity more than appearances, connection more than convenience, and honesty more than comfort. Listen carefully, this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. They have started writing thoughts in a notebook they keep hidden beside their bed. Not because they expect anyone else to read those pages, but because writing has become the only way they know how to organize everything their heart has been carrying. Page after page is filled with reflections, gratitude, unanswered questions, and words they wish they had spoken years ago. One sentence appears again and again in different forms: should have told the truth sooner. Every time they write those words, they feel a little lighter. Every time they admit another hidden emotion, the burden becomes a little smaller. They are learning that healing often begins the moment we stop hiding from ourselves. Don't scroll, listen to this, because this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. As you continue your own journey, remember that your future is not built only from the opportunities you receive. It is also built from the person you become while waiting for those opportunities. Continue choosing kindness when resentment seems easier. Continue believing that growth is possible, even after disappointment. Continue treating yourself with the same compassion you so freely offer others. Those quiet choices are shaping a life filled with resilience and wisdom. Whatever conversations await you tomorrow, you will meet them with a stronger heart than the one you carried yesterday. That is the hidden gift of every difficult season. It prepares you for moments you could never have imagined. And somewhere, the person you love has finally reached the place where silence no longer feels safe. They pick up their phone more than once, type a message, erase it, and begin again. Their hands tremble, not because they are afraid of caring, but because they care more deeply than they have ever admitted. They know that once they send those first honest words, there will be no hiding behind excuses anymore. The truth they have protected for so long is finally ready to step into the light, and what they are about to reveal could become the beginning of the conversation they have dreamed about for longer than either of you realizes. Don't scroll, listen to this, because this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. If you've followed this journey from the beginning, then you already know this was never just a story about two people. It has always been a story about courage, healing, and the quiet moments that change a heart forever. Every meaningful connection eventually reaches a crossroads where silence can no longer carry the weight of everything left unsaid. That moment has finally arrived. The person you love has spent countless nights lying awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering how life became so complicated. They never imagined that the hardest battle they would fight would be the one inside their own heart. Every day they tried to convince themselves that tomorrow would somehow make everything easier. Tomorrow would help them forget. Tomorrow would help them stop caring. Tomorrow would finally quiet the emotions they had been hiding for so long. But tomorrow came and went, again and again, and nothing changed. If anything, the silence only became louder. The more they tried to ignore what they felt, the stronger those feelings became. Listen carefully. This message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. There were moments when they smiled in front of everyone around them, yet inside they felt as though they were carrying a conversation that had never ended. Friends believed they had moved on. Family assumed everything was fine. The people closest to them saw laughter, routines, and ordinary days, but no one could see what happened after the lights went out and the world became quiet. That was when your memory returned. Not as something painful, but as something unfinished. They would remember the smallest details. The way a conversation with you could make an ordinary afternoon feel unforgettable. The encouragement you offered when they doubted themselves. The kindness you showed without expecting recognition. Those memories no longer brought anger or confusion. They brought clarity. They helped them understand that the people who truly change our lives are often the ones who quietly teach us how to become better versions of ourselves. You became one of those people in their story, and only now are they beginning to appreciate what that really means. Don't scroll, listen to this, because this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. Have you ever looked through old photographs and realized you smiled more than you remembered? Have you ever reread an old conversation and discovered warmth in words you once overlooked? Life has a remarkable way of revealing the importance of ordinary moments long after they have passed. That is exactly what has happened here. They have been looking back, not because they want to live in yesterday, but because they finally understand what yesterday was trying to teach them. Every misunderstanding became a lesson in communication. Every goodbye became a lesson in appreciation. Every missed opportunity became a reminder that fear can quietly steal the moments we value most. Instead of allowing those lessons to become sources of regret, they have started allowing them to become reasons to grow. They no longer want to be remembered as someone who stayed silent when honesty mattered most. Listen carefully, this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. While this emotional awakening has been unfolding inside them, something equally beautiful has been happening within you. You have become someone who knows how to keep moving even when life refuses to answer every question immediately. There was a time when uncertainty felt unbearable. You searched for explanations everywhere. You replayed conversations in your mind. You wondered whether you had misunderstood everything. But as the seasons passed, your heart quietly became stronger. You learned that healing is not about forgetting people who mattered. Healing is about remembering them without losing yourself. It is about carrying gratitude instead of resentment. It is about believing that every meaningful connection leaves behind wisdom, even if it also leaves behind unanswered questions. That wisdom has become part of your character now. It shows in the patience you offer others, the compassion you extend to yourself, and the calmness you have slowly built through every difficult season. Don't scroll, listen to this, because this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. The person you love has begun writing letters they never intended to send. At first, they thought writing would simply help organize their thoughts. Instead, every page became a mirror reflecting truths they had avoided for years. One letter begins with gratitude. Another begins with an apology. A third begins with a simple sentence that they struggled to write: "Should have told you how much your presence changed my life." Those words brought tears they had been holding back for far too long. They realized they weren't crying because they felt defeated. They were crying because honesty had finally replaced denial. For the first time, they stopped pretending that everything was fine. They allowed themselves to admit that some people remain important no matter how much time has passed. That admission did not make them weaker. It made them freer. Sometimes freedom begins the moment we stop hiding from our own hearts. Listen carefully, this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. Life often speaks through quiet reminders. Maybe you've noticed yourself pausing when you see repeating numbers like 111, 222, 444, or 777. Many people enjoy treating these moments as invitations to slow down, reflect, and reconnect with hope. Whether they feel symbolic to you or simply encourage mindfulness, they can become gentle reminders that life is still unfolding one moment at a time. The person you love has experienced those pauses differently recently. Instead of rushing past them, they have begun using them as opportunities to ask themselves honest questions. Am I living according to what truly matters? Am I allowing fear to decide my future? Am I becoming the kind of person I would respect years from now? Every answer has pointed them toward the same conclusion. They are tired of silence. They are tired of pretending. They are ready to choose authenticity, even if it feels uncomfortable at first. Don't scroll, listen to this, because this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. Imagine standing at the edge of the ocean just before sunrise. The waves continue moving whether anyone is watching or not. The horizon slowly changes from darkness to light without asking for permission. Nature never rushes, yet it never stops moving forward. Human hearts often heal the same way. We don't always notice the progress while it is happening. Then one day we realize that the pain no longer controls every thought. The fear no longer makes every decision. The hope we almost lost quietly returns, stronger and steadier than before. That is where this story has arrived. Both of you have been changing, even while believing nothing was happening. Both of you have been learning lessons that could never have been taught any other way. Growth has been taking place beneath the surface all along. Listen carefully, this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. The person you love no longer dreams about perfect endings. Instead, they dream about honest beginnings. They understand that no conversation can erase every mistake or rewrite every chapter that has already been lived. But they also understand something just as important. One sincere conversation can replace years of assumptions with understanding. One moment of vulnerability can begin healing that silence never could. They have stopped asking themselves whether honesty is worth the risk. They have started asking whether silence is worth the regret. That single question has transformed everything. It has given them the courage they thought they had lost. It has reminded them that meaningful relationships are not built by pretending everything is easy. They are built by showing up with humility, kindness, and the willingness to tell the truth. Don't scroll, listen to this, because this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. As you continue your own journey, never underestimate how much you have grown. Every difficult day has strengthened your resilience. Every disappointment has deepened your compassion. Every unanswered question has encouraged you to trust your own heart more than your fears. Those quiet victories matter. They have prepared you for conversations you once believed you would never be ready to have. They have shown you that your peace is something you can carry with you, regardless of what tomorrow brings. And somewhere, the person you love is finally reaching the moment they have imagined countless times. Their hands are unsteady. Their heart is racing. They look at the message they have rewritten over and over again, wondering if these words will finally express everything they have been carrying in silence. After all the waiting, all the reflection, and all the tears, they realize there is only one path left. They take a deep breath, stop deleting the words, and prepare to send the message that could change both of your lives forever. But before they press that final button, one unexpected event interrupts everything, forcing both of you to face a truth neither of you saw coming, a truth that will become the most emotional chapter of this entire journey.